These 4 U.S. coins look ordinary, but could be worth over $100,000 each. From rare Washington quarters to ultra-valuable Anthony, Sacagawea, and Kennedy coins, these pocket change legends have shocked collectors and rocked auctions. Stick around, one of these might be hiding in your home right now, waiting to make you rich. Part 1, History of the 1971 Washington Quarter. The Washington Quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. But 1971 was a unique year in U.S. numismatics. It marked a time when the U.S. Mint was shifting technologies and coin compositions, making it a ripe environment for errors, rarities, and highly collectible variants to be produced. Let's talk basics first. The 1971 Washington Quarter was minted in 3 locations. Philadelphia, no mint mark. Denver, D. San Francisco, S, primarily for proof sets. In general, these quarters were made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, with a pure copper core. That's important to remember because some of the most valuable errors occur when the wrong planchet, or coin blank, was used. Part 2, the rare and valuable 1971 quarter errors. Here's where things get exciting. Most 1971 quarters are worth face value. But a few rare errors and varieties can be worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars depending on condition, rarity, and demand. 1. 1971 quarter struck on silver planchet, worth $5,000 to $35,000 plus. One of the holy grails of 1971 quarters is a rare off-metal error, a Washington quarter mistakenly struck on a leftover 40% silver planchet intended for 1970 or earlier Kennedy half dollars or bicentennial coins. These are extremely rare and can weigh around 6.25 grams instead of the usual 5.67 grams. Collectors have paid $10,000 to over $35,000 for one of these rare finds. Imagine finding one of these in your change. Tip: use a digital scale to check the weight. If it's heavier than 5.67 g, get it professionally evaluated. 2. Double die obverse, DDO, worth $200 to $1,500 plus. Another lucrative error to look for is the 1971 double die obverse, where doubling appears in the text or numbers on the front, the obverse, of the coin. Look closely at. In God We Trust. Liberty. The date, 1971. If you see doubling with the naked eye or a magnifying glass, you might have a DDO variety, and those can sell for $200 to $1,500 depending on the clarity of the doubling and the condition of the coin. 3. Off-center strikes, worth $50 to $1,000 plus. An off-center strike happens when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during the minting process. The result? A coin that's visibly misaligned, with part of the design missing. Depending on how far off-center the strike is, and how much of the date is visible, values can reach $50 to $1,000 or more, especially if it's between 40% to 80% off-center with the full date showing. 4. Clipped planchets, worth $50 to $500 plus. Another dramatic error to keep an eye out for is a clipped planchet, where a portion of the coin is literally clipped off, like a bite mark. These mint errors happen when the coin blank overlaps with the edge of the metal strip during cutting. Clipped planchets can bring $50 to $500 plus depending on how severe and dramatic the clip is. 5. Proof errors and cameo variants, worth $100 to $1,000 plus. While proof coins are meant to be perfect, sometimes things still go wrong, and that's what makes them valuable to collectors. A 1971 S-proof quarter with a deep cameo finish, mirror-like fields and frosted details, in PR 69 or PR 70 condition can fetch $100 to over $1,000 at auction, and that's without even being an error coin. Combine cameo contrast with a striking error, and you've got a real money maker. Part 3, How to Identify a Valuable 1971 Quarter. You don't need to be a professional coin dealer to find one of these rare coins. Here's what you should do. Weigh the coin, use a jeweler's scale. Anything over 5.67 grams is a red flag for silver or off-metal content. Inspect closely, use a 10x magnifying loupe to spot doubling, off-centering, or clips. Check the mint mark. 1971D and 1971S coins are especially interesting to collectors, especially when they feature errors. Look for luster and condition. Higher grade coins, MS65 and above, multiply in value. Get it graded. If you suspect you have something rare, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional authentication and grading. Part 4, Real Auction Prices, Proof It's Worth It. Let's look at some real-world prices paid for these coins. A 1971 quarter struck on a silver planchet sold for $35,250 at auction. A near-perfect double die obverse was auctioned for $1,200. A proof 1971 S quarter, PR70 deep cameo, sold for over $1,000. Off-center strikes with visible dates often fetch $400 to $700. These aren't just theoretical values. People are literally cashing in on what looks like a simple quarter. Part 1, The Birth of the Sacagawea Dollar. In the year 2000, the U.S. Mint released a brand new $1 coin featuring Sacagawea, the young Shoshone guide who played a crucial role in the Lewis and Clark expedition. The Sacagawea Dollar was meant to replace the unpopular Susan B. Anthony dollar, and the Mint hoped its gold-colored finish, smooth edge, and fresh design would make it a hit. The obverse features Sacagawea carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste. The reverse, designed by Thomas D. Rogers, showcases a soaring eagle with 17 stars, representing the states in the Union in 1804. But despite the innovative look, the coin never caught on in everyday use. Instead, it found a second life in vending machines, collectors' folders, and, surprisingly, in one of the most incredible minting errors in U.S. coin history. Part 2, The Rarest and Most Valuable 2000 P Sacagawea Dollar, the mule coin worth $200,000 plus. Let's talk about the legendary mule error. The Holy Grail of Sacagawea Dollars. In numismatic terms, a mule is a coin struck with mismatched dies. The two sides of the coin don't belong together. And that's exactly what happened at the Philadelphia Mint in 2000. Instead of using the standard Sacagawea obverse die, a Washington quarter obverse die was mistakenly paired with the reverse of the Sacagawea dollar. This bizarre hybrid created a coin that should have never existed, a 2000 P quarter/Sacagawea dollar mule. Only 22 confirmed examples of this error have ever been discovered, making it one of the rarest and most desirable modern coins ever minted. Auction value. One of these sold at auction for $192,000. Others have fetched $75,000 to over $100,000, depending on grade and provenance. One example graded MS67 by NGC recently sold for $117,500. This isn't just rare, it's insanely rare, and if you find one, you're looking at life-changing money. Part 3, How to Identify the Mule Error Coin. Think you might have one of these ultra-valuable coins? Here's what to look for. Obverse, front shows George Washington's portrait, just like on a regular quarter. Reverse, back shows the soaring eagle, from the Sacagawea dollar. Edge, plain, no reading, unlike the milled edge of a quarter. Color and size, same golden color and diameter, 26.5 millimeters, as a Sacagawea dollar. If you see this weird combo, quarter on one side, dollar on the other, don't spend it. You could be holding a $100,000 plus coin. Part 4, Other Rare and Valuable 2000 P Sacagawea Dollar Coins. While the mule error is the superstar, there are several other valuable varieties and oddities from the 2000 P Sacagawea run that are worth big money. 1. 2000 P Wounded Eagle. This variety shows a die gouge that appears like a wound or spear going through the eagle's body on the reverse. Value, $250 to $2,000 plus depending on grade and clarity of the error. Look for a clean slash or raised line through the eagle's torso. 2. Cheerios Dollar, worth $2,500 to $10,000 plus. In early 2000, Cheerios cereal boxes included a free Sacagawea dollar to promote the new coin. But a small batch of these coins, only around 5,500, had prototype reverse dies with enhanced eagle tail feather detail not used on regular coins. If your coin came from a Cheerios box, check the eagle's tail feathers. More detail equals big bucks. In MS-68 condition, these coins have sold for over $10,000. 3. Off-center strikes and broad strikes. Like other modern coins, some 2000p Sacagaweas were struck off-center or without proper collar dies, causing misshapen or warped coins. Value: $100 to $500 plus depending on severity and condition. Part 5. How to know if yours is valuable. If you've got a 2000p Sacagawea dollar, check for these key signs of value. Wrong obverse, quarter face, mule error, get it graded immediately. Detailed tail feathers, possibly a Cheerios dollar, compared to verified photos. Slash on eagle's body, maybe a wounded eagle variety. Off-center or misshaped edges, could be a mint error. High grade, MS-67, MS-70, even without errors, high-grade examples can fetch $100 to $500 plus. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. If you suspect anything unusual, don't clean the coin. Send it to PCGS or NGC for professional authentication and grading. Part 6, Real Auction Prices. This is not just hype. Here's a recap of some real prices people have paid for these coins. 2000p Mule Dollar, $192,000. Cheerios Dollar, MS-68, $10,200. Wounded Eagle, MS-67, $2,250. Off-Center Strike, $500. Perfect MS-70 Regular Strike, $500 plus. These aren't inflated figures. They're documented sales at major auctions and certified coin dealers. Part 1, Quick History, Why this coin matters. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was introduced in 1979 to honor the legendary women's rights activist. It was the first time in U.S. history that a real woman, not a symbolic female figure like Liberty, appeared on a circulating American coin. But the coin had problems. Its size, just a little bigger than a quarter, confused the public. Many people rejected it, thinking it was a quarter. As a result, the coin didn't circulate well, and minting ceased after just a few short years, making certain versions unexpectedly rare. Now here's the twist. In 1979, the San Francisco Mint struck proof coins intended for collectors, and it's among these that we find one of the most valuable and desirable modern coin rarities in U.S. history. Part 2, the 1979 S Type 1 versus Type 2, the key to big value. If you remember anything from this video, remember this, the 1979 S Susan B. Anthony dollar has two proof varieties, and one of them is worth a fortune. Type 1, the common, blobby S. Most of the 1979 S proof dollars feature what collectors call a blobby S mint mark, thick and filled in, lacking detail. This version is fairly common. Even in pristine proof condition, it's usually worth between $5 and $15. Type 2, the rare, clear S. Here's where it gets exciting. A small number of 1979 S proof coins were struck using a different mint mark punch, resulting in a sharply defined, clear S mint mark. This is the Type 2, and it's extremely rare. This mint mark is elegant and crisp, with visible separation between the upper and lower loops of the S. Collectors go wild for this version, and depending on its grade, it can sell for $300 to $1,000 in proof 67 to 68 condition. Over $2,500 in PR 69 deep cameo. And in ultra-rare PR 70 deep cameo, it has sold for over $15,000 at auction. Yes, one tiny letter makes the difference between a $10 coin and a $15,000 windfall. Part 3, How to tell the difference, Type 1 versus Type 2. Now the million-dollar question, how can you tell if you have the rare one? Step 1, check the mint mark. Get a 10x magnifying loupe. Look closely at the S mint mark on the obverse, the side with Susan B. Anthony's portrait. Step 2. Compare the shape. If the S looks thick, filled, or rounded, that's type 1. If the S is sharp, with clear separation and almost looks like a tiny dollar sign, that's type 2. Step 3. Check for deep cameo. Proof coins with mirror-like fields and frosted devices are the most valuable. If yours has this contrast and is a type 2, you may be holding a jackpot. If you suspect you have one, do not clean the coin, send it in for professional grading by PCGS or NGC immediately. Part 4, Auction Highlights, Real Sales, Real Money. Let's look at some actual prices collectors have paid. A 1979 S-Type 2 proof dollar, graded PR70 deep cameo, sold for a jaw-dropping $15,275 at Heritage Auctions. Another example in PR69 deep cameo sold for $2,760. Even lower grade examples regularly fetch $300 to $600, all for a coin originally sold in a U.S. mint proof set. And keep in mind, these coins are still out there. Many people have them tucked away in old proof sets or inherited collections without realizing their value. Part 5, Other 1979 Anthony dollar errors to watch for. While the Type 2 proof is the star of the show, there are a few other valuable varieties and errors from 1979 to keep your eyes open for. 1. Wide rim / near date, Philadelphia. The 1979 P wide rim variety, also known as near date, features the rim design closer to the date than usual. It's not as rare as the Type 2 proof but still worth a premium. Value, $50 to $250 plus in higher mint state grades. 2. Off-center strikes. These happen when the coin is misaligned in the press. Values vary by severity, but dramatic examples with visible date and design can bring $200 to $1,000 plus. 3. Double dies or clipped planchets. Though not common in 1979 S. Anthony dollars, these types of mint errors can bring in hundreds or more if certified. Part 6, How to get your coin valued and graded. If you think you've struck gold, or silver, in this case, here's what to do. Don't clean or polish it. Take high-quality photos, especially of the mint mark. Send it to a trusted grading company like PCGS or NGC. Get it encapsulated and certified. This is essential if you want to sell it at top dollar.